Hey there, want to spend less time pulling weeds? Check out Soil Shield by Modern Grower. It's the pre-cut landscape fabric solution to help you drastically reduce weed pressure. Just roll it out, staple it down, and plant. Then let it do the work for you. Say goodbye to endless weeding and hello to more free time. Plus, it's high quality, durable, and will last for years, saving you time and money in the long run. It's available in a variety of row and hole spacings to accommodate all the crops that vegetable farmers grow. Learn more about Soil Shield landscape fabric at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below. And you're somebody who you work now in the film industry. That's I'd say your main hustle from talking to you, but you can correct me if I'm wrong there. How do you view an off-farm job with your farming job? Is the farming job viewed as something that it's a side hustle, it adds a little bit of income, there's some passion there, it's fun? Or do you eventually want the side job to become the main thing? Because I know it does provide some insurance, like you talked about before. If the film industry goes away or slows down in New Orleans, you have this as a backup. How do you view these?
Well, and I'm still pretty early in farming. I've only started really taking it serious within the last 2-3 years, maybe. So, and I realized that the amount of time and the hours I do put into that, there's something that I can do. I figured out that I like to do, that I love to do, actually, that benefits not only me and in me having a sense of doing something positive and something, that can change somebody's life. I look at it as it's just, I really, really, really at the end of the day, care about providing good food for people. I don't know how that came about, really. But in the last, that's what I want to do. So I look at my off-farm job as a means to be able to do the farming thing at this moment. And eventually, if I can not work as hard on the movie set and dedicate that effort and that energy into growing food for my family and families around me and my community, then that's kind of a better payoff, if you see what I'm saying. I love what I do, being a camera assistant in the film industry. I love, love, love what I do. The amount of hours and the physical labor is about what is if I ran a full-time farm. So to answer your question, I think at the end of the day, eventually, if I really had it my way, I would work on movies for 6 months a year and I would farm for 6 months a year. If I can do it that way, it'll probably margin more towards farming. Farming really came down to it, but I still would like to work in this industry if I could at, in smaller increments than I am now. I don't want to do the 60-hour weeks for, 8 months at a time. I would much rather do a couple weeks here and there, farm the rest of the time, and eventually, I would retire from this film industry and run my farm full time. So I'm kind of building up the retirement plan, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And it sounds like it's all good. Like it's enjoyable. You like both sides of it, which is a great place to be. And you found a balance between the two that really works for you. And I think that's somewhat rare. A lot of people, they want to make the farming thing the full-time thing because they hate the current full-time thing. You don't. You love it. You said you love it. So it's a great position to be in. And it's probably a nice position to be in from the sense of you're not doing either one with stress or resentment. Like you can go in and take time to learn how to farm, learn how to grow, build the customer base, enjoy it, and do what you need to do at the pace at which it happens versus really trying to accelerate it because you're like, I got to get the hell out of here for this other job.
Yeah, and I listen to a lot of your podcasts, and I hear people say that they were in that position where they really hated their off-farm job, and they got to get out of there. They had to figure out how to get out of it. And my thing is, I'm not really trying to get out of doing the filmmaking thing and working on TV and movies. I'm more trying to see how I can make it mesh better with my farming dreams as well. So, like I said, I think in the years to come that it will transition and it'll be more on the farm heavy side than the film industry side. And Diego, to be honest, I've been in the film business for 15 years, 14 years, almost 15 years, and not regretted one thing, but always wanted to make sure I was starting something of my own and having something that if this industry totally went away, that I would have something I can fall back on. And whether that was a skill or whether it was, opening some kind of business, I always just felt that I needed to have that. And farming just stepped up and just provided that need for me to have something to fall back on. Because I know, nowadays with microgreens, I can sell as many microgreens as I can plant. I know I can do that. Like if I planted a greenhouse full of microgreens, I would probably sell all of them week to week. But because I have the confidence now and just the trust in myself to step out there and try a new venture. And I know we didn't really talk about the whole pasture poultry aspect of it, but that was another like leap of faith. I jumped out and just tried it just to see how that would balance with this. And if eventually, if I knew I wanted to do boilers in the future, what it would take. And man, it just changed so much. So I'm really just finding the fine line, the right tune right now to make these go hand in hand, the filming and farming. But yeah, eventually I can see me going a little bit more full time with becoming a farmer, because it's just a natural thing for me. It's not nothing I see as as a real hurdle. It's just something I know that you just got to go after. You got to work really hard. And I don't mind working hard. Eventually, yeah, I think we'll transition into farming full time.
Hello, growers. If you enjoy podcasts like this one, tune into my podcast In Search of Soil on YouTube for a deep dive into the mysteries beneath our feet. Join me as I explore topics such as mycorrhizal fungi, mushrooms, compost, biochar, and more. It's a soil nerd's dream. We're going deep. We're talking to scientists about all things soil related. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or a gardener just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Check out In Search of Soil on YouTube.